The Leopards of Congo, a legacy, the Democratic Republic of Congo, history, and the return to the FIFA World Cup. Yes, we're talking about a team that has been absent for a very, very long time. 52 years ago, African football stood on a global stage, and the world wasn't ready. At the 1974 FIFA World Cup, a team from Central Africa stepped onto the pitch. Carrying more than just the ball, they carried a continent's aspiration, attribution, inspiration, and expectation. That team was the DR Congo national football team, then known as Zaire, under the leadership of the late President Mobutu Sese Seko Kuku Wasabanga. And since that moment, silence, not because the talent disappeared, but because the pathway deep. Welcome to BallAfrica, where we don't just talk about football. We talk about the story of African football. We tell the story of African football to the world. Today's episode is not about hype. It's about history, reality, and the long road back, even longer than Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela's long walk to freedom. In the first part of our conversation, I want to share the first roar of the leopard. Before Nigeria's rise, before Cameroon shocked the world, before Senegal made history, before Morocco and Ghana rose to the top of the World Cup, there was a country called Zaire. The Leopards of the Democratic Republic of Congo national team became the first Sub-Saharan African nation to qualify for the FIFA World Cup. That was huge. That was big. That was ginormous. They didn't just qualify. They dominated Africa. They won the African Cup of Nations in 1968. They doubled that and won again in 1974. Alumba Ndiaye, who is still one of AFCON's greatest goal scorers, defined an era. But then, they arrived in West Germany in 1974. Reality hit. They faced Brazil. They faced the then Yugoslavia. They faced Scotland. And the results were harsh, including a heavy defeat that still gets replayed today of a 0-9 against the then Yugoslavia. But here's what people forget. They were the pioneers, the pathfinders, the way seekers. They paved the way. They walked into a system that wasn't built for them. So what went wrong with this country after a very long time? After the 1974 World Cup, the question wasn't, where did the Democratic Republic of Congo go? The question was, how does a football giant just disappear? The answer isn't simple. Political instability, economic challenges, lack of infrastructure, player development systems that never fully matured. While the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and the Teranga Lions of Senegal were busy building pathways in football, the Leopards of the Democratic Republic of Congo struggled to sustain momentum. Yet, the talent never left. Players like Shabani Nonda, Yusuf Malumba, Chancel Mbemba proved that Congolese football still had quality. But talent without structure means nothing. It makes a good export market, not continental dominance. Today, there is the modern Leopards of the Democratic Republic of Congo. We want to fast forward to the moment now. The DRC national team is no longer silent. They are rebuilding. They have been rebuilding. They are competing. They have been competing. They are fighting. They have been fighting. At the African Cup of Nations, they have shown resilience and continuous presence, reaching semifinals, challenging top nations, reminding everyone that they belong and they have their place. They have a mission and something to prove. But the modern day challenge is different. It's not just about qualifying anymore. It's about showing up and showing in. It's about consistency. But African football has evolved. The competition is deeper, stronger, more experience. The systems are stronger. The margin for error is zero, zip. Zero room for error in an African football continental tournament. The real battle. So, what did it take for the Democratic Republic of Congo to return to the World Cup? Not just qualify, but compete at the World Cup. 3 things: structure, youth development, local leagues, the coaching systems. 2, football cannot grow without systems that would collapse. Stability. 3, identity, a clear style, a philosophy, a way of playing that defines a nation. Because today, talent alone is not enough. And African football knows that this better than anyone. And African football knows this better than anyone. So the group of pressure. The journey began in the CAF qualification, a group that didn't forgive mistakes. Across Africa, every nation was fighting for one thing, survival. The Democratic Republic of Congo entered within a mix of experience and hunger. At the heart of the defense, Chancel Mbemba, a leader, a warrior, a voice. The early matches in the group stage, pretty tight, tactical, and unforgiving, zero room for error. Away games in Africa are never just about football. They are battlegrounds. They are battle environments. They are battle mentality. There are resilience. A draw here, a narrow win there. And suddenly, in the African bracket for the World Cup qualifiers, there are 9 pools. And the top teams from each pool will make it directly into the North American Jamboree. The DRC Congo plays South Sudan, Mauritania, Togo, and the giants, Senegal. They finished second behind Senegal, and thus they must play in a playoff tournament if they want to continue on their road. The road is incredibly longer and the task is harder. A 1-0 win over the mighty Cameroon at the penalty shootouts, another win over another giant, Nigeria, a continental playoffs in Mexico, is on the line. It comes down to the final match day. One result decides everything. Win, you stay alive. Sleep, your dream awaits you in another 4 years. But the final huddle was the most poetic. A winner takes all intercontinental playoff against Jamaica's Reggae Boys. Picture the scene. Akron Stadium in Zapopan, Mexico. The 94th minute, the score line is 1-1. A draw sends the game to penalties, where history usually goes to die for the underdogs. Then, a moment of magic. Mesjak Elia receives the ball on the edge of the box. He bypasses 2 defenders and strikes a curling shot that defies physics. Goal, Alien. The DR Congo is into the World Cup. The consequences of the goal: Jamaica's golden generation was sent home. The DRC Congo, the Leopards of Congo, secured the 10th and final spot for Africa in the expanded 48-team World Cup Jamboree in North America this summer, June and July. For the Democratic Republic of Congo, football is the only language that ignores conflict. For a nation that has seen over 6 million deaths due to decades of instability in the East, the team is a mirror of what is possible when unity wins. The president of FECOFA, the Fédération Congolaise de Football Association, recently stated, this isn't a victory for the federation. It isn't a victory for the mother. It is a victory for the mother who lost everything but still finds a way to cheer for her country. When Chancel Mbemba hoisted the flag, after the match, he wasn't just a captain, he was a symbol of hope, unity, and the future. Statistics from the World Bank show that national pride in post-conflict zones can increase social cohesion by up to 30%. Following major sporting success, the DRC has witnessed this. This isn't just the sports of football. It is a healing that unites a country. The final steps, now comes the real test. Because qualifying from Africa is never just about winning games. It's about finishing the job, whether through direct qualification or final decisive stages and playoff tournaments. This is where history either repeats itself or is rewritten. The pressure builds. The weight of generations sits on this team. Players who grew up hearing stories of 1974, now writing their own story. And when the moment comes, they don't hesitate. We are talking about Chancel Mbemba, Wamba Bissaka. These are the players that would have to deliver. Game on. They are in Pool K with Portugal, Colombia, Uzbekistan this summer, and they will play in Atlanta, Houston, and Zapopan. Why does this story matter? Why is this on my podcast? This isn't just about one country. This is the story of African football, a continent rich in talent, but still fighting for structure, recognition, and control of its own narrative. From Dakar to Kinshasa, from Lagos to Ngi, from Ngi to Bali, from Bali to Santa, from Santa to Yaoundé. The question remains the same. Can African football turn potential into sustained global power? Because when it does, the world won't just watch. The world will have to adapt to this mighty change. This story would continue. The drums will roll. The leopard will roar. The Leopards haven't roared on the world stage in decades. But make no mistake, this is not the end of their story. It's the chapter waiting to be written here on BallAfrica. That's what we do. We don't just follow the game. We tell the stories behind it, the struggles, the systems, the journey that the world doesn't always see, the hard work that the players put in, because African football is not just rising, it's evolving. And when it fully arrives, we would not ask for attention. It will demand attention. I am Izzy Lise, and this is BallAfrica. Keep your heart in the game and your eyes on the ball. Thank you.